Circuit Maker 6 is a nice little program that is a free download from the internet and very good for drawing schematic diagrams that you can draw very quickly, very easily, and they look very professional. It can be downloaded freely from the internet. Here's a website which downloads very easily, you can find, or there are others also, but I found this one is quite useful and easy to get hold of. You can see it's babbage.cs.qc.edu is shown up there. Once we've downloaded it and installed the program, it should look like this on our screen when we start it up. Top line is all the normal sorts of tool options. Second line also have fairly standard sorts of symbols with a select key. Then we have some specialist keys like the wire drawing key or tool for drawing texts, and also there's a whole lot there for when we have drawn a program, we might want to simulate it, get it to actually do what it's meant to do and check the outputs and voltages, etc. But we won't be worrying about that today. All we're going to be looking at doing is drawing a basic schematic diagram which we can then paste into a Word document. So we'll select some components from our component library here. So let's start off with a power supply, a source, and we'll use a battery, and we can change the voltage of the battery. We'll make this on 12 volts and we'll place it, select place, and then we can move it around anywhere. We'll sort of put it roughly here on our board. Now just to make it easier to see for this video, we will change our display scale up to about 300%, and there we can see our component a lot easier. Now we'll put a couple of resistors in. So we'll go to resistors, two different types of symbols. This is the one that we normally use. We can change its value here. Let's make this 27 ohms. We'll put that resistor in. To get another resistor, we can do the same. We can go back here, put the value in and place it there, or alternatively we can put our cursor up here somewhere, left click and hold the left button down, scroll over the whole component and let it go, and it will select the component, right? And then I can go Control C to copy it to our clipboard, Control V will paste it, and we now have our component ready to drop where we want. You might see it's got two 90-degree arrows just above it. They're to tell us that we can rotate it in this position. Sometimes it doesn't work when we're using the record. If I click the right button, it should rotate it, but it's not going to. So I can drop it into place. I'll hover over it, right click it, and I can then tell it to rotate at that stage. Right, I'm now going to actually change its value, so I'll right click it again, edit device data, and here's the data. I'm going to make 100 ohms. I could also change it. I could call it something else, like I'll just call this one the load, for example. And there it is. Now that doesn't look nice, so I can just click on just that itself and move that around. And there we have that. So let's put another component in. Let's put a regulator in. So I'm going to come to regulator. And this only offers us one regulator. In this particular case, the LM317. Well, actually, it's got a whole lot here that, right, one shape, one design, but it's got a various versions of it, the 5 volt, 8 volt, 12 volt, or the adjustable 317. So we'll place that, and we'll stick this in here. A bit short on space, so I can move that over just by clicking the left button on it, and I can move it. Now I want to connect these components up, so I go to the wire draw tool, select that, come over to the end of one of the components, right, and you'll see it comes up with a red box to tell me it's there. It knows that's the end of a component, so I'll just click on there and it will start drawing my lines. No matter where I move my mouse, and I'm moving my mouse around in circles, but it will only draw vertically and it gives me a horizontal line so I know when I've lined up with where I want to go. So when I've lined it up there, I'll just give it one quick click of the left key of my mouse and it changes to a horizontal line with a vertical alignment line, so I know where to stop. Click on there and it drops the wire in. 2 dots tell me it's found the connections. So left click, left click, left click, left click, left click, left click, one more, and here. And I don't need to actually terminate at a component. I can terminate on a wire if I want to, like that. So I'll just go back to my select tool. This doesn't look very nice to me, so what I'm going to do is shift this component down a bit, and I can also shift that wire up. So there you go, that looks a little bit neater. So once we're happy with the look of our diagram, we can once again hover up off the diagram somewhere, hold the left key down of your mouse, scroll over the whole thing, let it go, turns red, tells us it's selected the whole thing. We'll copy it, Control C, and then we'll go to our Word document and Control V and paste it straight in. When we select it, we'll see that it brings up the picture tools toolbar, so it's dropped it in as a picture, and we can do all the normal things that we could do with a picture. All I'm going to do at this stage is change the text wrapping, so we can move it around, and we'll make it a little bit bigger as well. And we want to, it's a little bit wide for where we want it, so we can just change its aspect ratio a little bit as well, compress it up that way. So now I can make it fit in my schematic diagram, in my document, and make it fit with the text and look all in the correct proportions. So we go back to Circuit Maker. The important thing when you're using a circuit drawing tool is that you make everything look as neat and tidy as possible, right? Everything's sort of nice and even. There's no point in having lines all sort of skew with all over the place, right? Keep them nice and even so it's very easy to see what's happening in the circuit and other people can follow it. Simple circuit like this, not so important, of course, but when we get into a more complicated circuit with lots of components, it is very important. So very simple program. You can download it for free onto your home computer and very quickly and very easily draw schematic diagrams.